Hey guys, I just want to remind you who I am, in case you didn't remember. My name is Cindy Eiler, and I want to tell you what all my videos have to do with, because maybe you have never been clear about that, but I want to make that perfectly clear. In your life, and have the courage to actually take the steps to better your life. So that's quite a mouthful, but that's a big promise, but I can do it. And that's what I do. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I decided to put my I was heading into the bathroom. Don't want to go there. Actually, we're still flooded over here from the hurricane. So I guess I can't walk through the grass. I will go around. Yeah, I have a really important thing to talk about today that I've been thinking about, and I've actually brought this topic up in my recent webinar that I do. Most of you know I do a twice a month webinar called my Cindy's Insiders Club. And this is something that I was discussing for quite a while in the last webinar, but it still is something that is so present in my thoughts that I just felt like I needed to do a video on it. So, who and what do you believe? It makes a huge difference in your life. There are so many things that happen in our world, and we expect, it's sunset, so the sun's like beaming down. I'm by the river here. If it gets too bright, I'll put on my sunglasses. Anyway, there are so many things that happen in the world, and I think we all like to believe that we're being told the truth. And I also think that a lot of people think that what we hear on the news is the truth. And hey, let's face it, how about people in our lives? Wouldn't we also think that they'd be telling us the truth? And maybe they do. Maybe the newspapers do, the news, the whoever is reporting on whatever, they are telling us the truth. But do we really know? That's the question. Do we really know? And to what extent is the truth that we're hearing? I want to go for a walk, but my options are kind of limited here. We're very flooded here. So, I don't know. Anyway, sorry for interrupting my train of thought. So, also there's been a skunk here because I smell it, but I like the smell of skunk. If you know me, that's the truth. So, the problem is that there's a lot of people that say a lot of things. And it's with anything in your life. Whether it's the Las Vegas shooting, or I've talked about Doreen Virtue for those of you that follow her. But it could be anything. But I'll just use the Las Vegas as a example because it's new and it's fresh. And how people are all saying all of these different things, depending on who you're listening to what slant they're taking, to basically what is their perspective of life, because that's what it all comes down to. Everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got a truth. And I'm not here to say that one is right and one is wrong, but how do you know what is the truth? I mean, for years we just thought the news told us the truth, but that's not always true. And everything has a slant because everything sells and everybody's trying to get attention. Everybody's trying to get the most views. And I bet you know that even like whether it's a newspaper article or a headline somewhere, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or anything else, people will just put leading headlines just to get your attention to open it and read it. So you don't know where somebody's coming from when they're telling you whatever they're telling you, or what buy-in they have where, or what they're getting out of sharing what they have to share. But I've heard a lot of BS out there, but who knows? Is it BS? To me, it sounds like it, but it all depends on where people are coming from, and everybody is going to have that opinion and that truth. So, you know, you have the truth that you don't know if it's the truth. You have, you know, people that just make shit up. There's people that, you know, that will think of things in different ways because of things they've heard or things that they're afraid of or things they believe. And let's not forget about the aliens, the entities, and the conspiracy theories. I mean, there's a million things that people are talking about out there, and they can all sound good. You know, I was talking about on my webinar the other night about, you know what, I could really go down the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories because they sound so like that could totally be, that could so be the truth. I could see that. But I will say that with conspiracy theories, they're always scary. There's never a conspiracy theory that feels good. It's always fear. It's always horrible. But it sounds like something that could be totally true. So I can see how people buy into that shit. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to swear. But I don't, because I know that anything that's laden with fear is not going to be my truth. And this is what I'm talking about, the Las Vegas thing. Some people are saying it's the guy. You know, some people are looking at like, what's going on with this guy? Why did he do it? What was his point? Other people are saying it's a government setup. They're just using him. They used him as a pawn. They wanted to do this to instill fear in the people for many reasons. There's a lot of reasons out there, but one of them would be to mess with the gun laws. You know, if this big thing happens, then maybe they'll do something to change a gun law and set the guy up, make it look like he did it, and he totally didn't. We don't know if he did or not. We don't know if somebody set him up and made it look like him. We don't know. How about some people like, oh yeah, the terrorists, of course. There's always got to be a terrorist in there that says they were responsible for it. I think ISIS claimed that one too, which I highly doubt. But the terrorists will always say it's them because they want to take the credit for instilling fear and doing something awful. So just out of this one thing that happened with this Las Vegas thing, there's a multitude of theories, and we honestly have no clue as to which one it is. And you know what? I've heard other ones where people say, you know, they know people that will, you know, if they knew that they were going to die, maybe they'd hurt somebody because they were dying anyway. I mean, so it doesn't matter. Everybody's coming from a different situation, a different perspective, a different life, a different value systems, different morals, different levels of emotional and mental wellness and illness. And so you don't know. But one thing I do know is we don't know. We don't know what the truth is. We probably would never know, okay? Because the only ones that know are the ones who really did it. And if he really did it, okay. If there was someone covering it up, that's so possible, okay. None of it's really okay, but I'm just saying, you're just not going to know. So what do you do? Because when you think about it, this is happening with everything in our society. Everything that happens, we really don't know the truth. And so what do? You listen to people, you get scared, you start, you know what, that sounds true. Oh, somebody told me this, and look, now this is happening, so that must be true. Well, I'll tell you what I do. The bottom line is, it's your universe. And remember, I help you understand your life to gain clarity and confidence to make the decisions that are best for you and the courage to actually take action and do something about it. So that's my stake in what I have to share here and nothing else. So what I'm saying is, what do you do when you just don't know? Who do you believe? Because what if you said, you know what, it was just a freak thing, he flipped out, he just did it. Meanwhile, there is the government doing something, or there is somebody who just set it up in some way, or it is a conspiracy theory, or it is the aliens or entities. And then you think, I'm making the wrong decision, I'm stupid, when I don't know what to believe. But the bottom line is this is your life. And you've got to believe in the way that is going to best support your life, because what you believe affects everything about your life. Everything. And so if you believed in conspiracy theories all the time, you know what? They sound like really great stories. Not great, but believable. But you're going to pretty much live in fear, and you're going to be on edge all the time, wondering who's after you, who's doing all this setting up, who's, creeping behind the corner, who's going to do the next terrible thing that's going to be covered up. That's the other thing about conspiracy theories. I don't think I've ever seen one proven. Just saying. But you start living a really suspicious, fearful life. And probably an angry one, and probably a hateful one, because you'll start not liking the people that you think are in these conspiracy theories, usually government type things. And I'm not saying that anybody is innocent either, because I think everybody is doing stuff that, may not be the best thing for everyone. But how do you do the best thing for everyone? I guess that's probably not possible, but I don't know. So what you do is you think, sometimes I do believe that there's government stuff behind things, and I don't like thinking like that, but I do feel that there are things like that. But at the same time, I'm going to stay as level-headed as I can. And I'm going to learn what I need to learn from the situation. So I'm going to look at, for instance, Las Vegas and go, okay, what emotion is coming up to me strongest when I see this situation? What is it in me that triggers? How do I feel? Because ultimately, that's where you want to go. You want to go to what is it that triggers in you when something like that happens? That specific scenario, that specific thing that happened. Where did your mind go? What did you think? Were you scared? Are you afraid of things like that? Or does that make you feel sick? Do you think a lot about mental health? What is it? What is it for you? Because nobody walks in your shoes, and it's going to be different for everyone. And whatever comes up for you, you then say, okay, why am I thinking this? Why am I fearing this? Why do I worry about that? Why is that in my mentality whatsoever? And then you work on that. Why, if it was a fear, if you feel unsafe in this life, or you just think that's, I don't know, the government's out to get you, or whatever it is. Why is it that you feel that way, and what can you do to change that? Okay, this is what any scenario, regardless of what it is about. It's about asking yourself how you react to it, and what do you need to look at yourself to change how you're feeling. Because everything that happens in this world is not by chance. It's not for no reason. And if it's in your paradigm, if it's something that is close to you or affecting you in some way, there's something that you can learn. Everybody can learn from the situation, besides the black and white of it, that this man just, murdered all these people. Yeah, that's an issue. But what is it for you? Because that's where you're going to get your answers. That's where you're going to be able to do something to shift your life. That's where you're going to be able to make a difference in your life going forward. Is what is it to you, and what can you do about yourself to change it in a more positive way? Okay? Everybody's learning something from this. Everybody. And instead of pointing fingers and blaming and saying it's him, it's them, it's that, it's this, that's just so, unproductive, because that's not going to get anyone anywhere because you don't know. You're just basing it off how you think or feel or believe. But when you turn it around on you and you start asking yourself the questions of why is this coming to me? How does this make me feel? How does this relate to other parts of my life? This feeling that's coming up again. Where in my life are these feelings that I'm having? Because if I'm having it now, it's definitely in other parts of my life. And what can I do to shift this? Because this is something that I need to shift because it's in the way of me understanding and having clarity and the courage and the confidence to do what I want to have the best life that I can have. That's the bottom line. It's not trying to find out who did it, why. You'll never frickin' know. So use it to your benefit. It's always about you. It's always about me. It really is. Every situation. And I'm going to do a video about Doreen because I am just so tired of seeing these crazy videos on YouTube about her. That'll be a separate one, but just hearing all these people with their opinions, it's almost comical. It's like most of the people that are commenting and making videos about her don't even know her. And it's just like, this is stupid. This is stupid. And some of the things they're saying are just awful. And believable, if you wanted to believe them. But, it's just like, okay, go back to it. What's most important? Who really gives a crap what somebody else is doing? I know there's a lot of people that care about what other people are doing, and they need to start minding their own effing business, honestly, because I'm quite sure that every single person on this earth has issues of their own that they can attend to, rather than picking at somebody else's scabs, honestly. So, yeah. It's really important for you to start turning this stuff inwards and asking yourself, how does that make me feel? Where am I feeling this in my life? What am I learning from this? And how can I shift it? Those are the important questions. Not who's telling the truth, what really happened. That's all just drama. That's all just, it's the storyline. It's about what it is to you, bottom line, if you really care about knowing. Now, if you're just into drama and you just want to have a good story to think about, well, there's plenty of stories you can attach to or make up yourself. That's a different thing. But I will tell you this. Whatever story you make up is a story you're making up for your life and what you're attracting more of to you. And if you want to dwell in conspiracy theories or thinking that, there's such bad people out there and, oh my God, oh my God, there's so many stories right now. Even the whole thing about Puerto Rico. Like, if you've been on my Facebook, I posted a few things and there are some attitudes on there. And it's like, I can't believe what people say, honestly. It's so friggin' ridiculous. And I think people lose their ability to have clarity about their own damn life because if they put themselves in those positions, they wouldn't say the horrible things they say. And, it's like they're taking the place of God, calling other people. Anyway, whatever. I don't even want to go into it. I might go into that. I might go into that on another video. Because you know what I'm noticing? And this is my thing. Is that with every single catastrophe or thing that gets our attention, like a big thing that gets our attention, there's something for each of us to learn about ourselves. And it's time to stop pointing that finger out at everybody else and calling everybody else on their shit when you don't even know your own shit, when you're not even willing to look at your own crap. It's really old, people. I'm personally done with that kind of mindset. It's so yesterday. What's important to me in my life is me and my life and feeling good and doing the best I can. And that's really what it's about. Having firm boundaries, to respect myself, and to have the best life I can. And as long as I'm pointing at everybody else or trying to figure out the truth of some drama that came up, that ain't gonna happen. And so bottom line, I turn it around and I ask myself those questions that I told you. How do I fit into this? What are the emotions that I'm feeling? Why is this coming to me? Where is the same feeling coming up in my life? And how can I shift this to better? Doesn't really matter. The storyline's the storyline, and the storyline is going to play out for everyone in the perfect way for them. So the people who are connected to the people that actually got killed, they're going to have something they're dealing with. The people that are involved with the police, they're going to have their story. The people that are against Republicans are going to have their story. And the people against gun laws or for gun laws are going to have their story. The people with mental illness are going to have their story. The people who can't trust people in their family or their husbands are going to have their story. The people who don't make a lot of money gambling or do make a lot of money gambling are going to have their story. The casino's going to have their own story. Americans are going to have their story, while foreigners will have their own point of view about Americans in this story. So as you can see, there are stories around all of it. And what can you do about that? Nothing. And it really doesn't matter. But what does matter is the story that comes to you for you to work on your own stuff and your own life, and for you to choose beliefs and make decisions that are going to affect your life positively. And that's my story. So, thank you for listening, and I hope this gives you some insight so you don't have to worry about knowing what the truth is, but rather knowing what your truth is and what's coming up for you to look at in your life and do something about it. Doesn't it make it a little easier? Yeah, we don't want to see these things happen. But what is your story? How does it affect you? And work on your life. That's the best thing you could do for yourself and everybody in your world. If everybody worked on their own stories, the world would look a lot nicer and everybody would be a lot happier. If everybody would work on their own stories. Yes, it's true. So, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I come on live or upload a video. If you liked this video, find that it had some value, please like it and share it. That would be totally awesome. And until next time, I will see you guys all later. Much love and lots of light and peace. Have a good night. See you guys all later. Oh yeah, peace out. Can't forget that. Bye.